It's a couple of girls in here I don't care for, because you have some really nasty attitudes or whatever, but that's just me personally.
You looking at me?
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most tense and explosive blow-ups on the US versions of Drag Race. We're only counting fights between contestants for this list, so no one-sided tirades or dust-ups with RuPaul are included.
Yes, you both call me losers, and I don't see you out there walking children in nature.
I never called you a loser.
You're not a loser.
Number 30, Kennedy Davenport and Ginger Minge versus Violet Chachki and Pearl.
Before this episode, before we went out there and said all that, I liked all of you, and now I don't.
Throughout Drag Race Season 7, there was a divide between the veteran performers and the younger queens. When members of both groups made it to the finals, all hell threatened to break loose in Untucked. On the main stage, RuPaul asked each queen who didn't deserve to make it to the end.
With the exception of Ginger, I don't think the other girls are ready. So I fear that they may not know how to condone themselves.
Ginger and Kennedy stuck together, throwing the younger two under the bus.
You don't have to justify what you said. What you said is what you said. And if she have a problem with it, she just have a problem with it.
Questions about who was seasoned enough to handle the pressure of being America's Next Drag Superstar turned the final four against each other. Feelings were hurt, shade was thrown, and old battle lines re-emerged to inject some drama just before the finish line.
Kennedy, do you know the only thing that this actually kind of proves to me right now is that maybe she's not ready to be America's Next Drag Superstar?
Number 29, Bosco versus Lady Camden.
The role of Saltine is the lead role. She is a cabaret, burlesque, courtesan superstar. That is Bosco.
I know what I've got my eye on.
If the Rusical has taught us anything, it's that choosing parts can become blood sport. The leading role of Saltine in the Moulin Rouge musical was a hot commodity, and Bosco and Lady Camden knew it.
I embody Saltine, and I am also putting my foot down for her.
Okay, yes, there is a sexiness to it, but I feel like I showed the other side of Saltine, which is the romance and the love story.
Neither would budge an inch. It got to the point that the two began making digs about each other's talent while their fellow queens watched.
Saltine has loads of lines, and I feel like I'm gonna have no problem with that.
You sure aren't? Because you're not gonna have them.
While it isn't the most outrageous fight in the show's history, there's something inherently unhinged about how such an inconsequential thing led to such personal insults. Petty arguments ballooning into all-out battles is why we love Drag Race.
You can Venmo me $5,000.
Number 28, Dia Betty versus Jasmine Kennedy.
Yeah, I said that. I did, but not to me. I was just shading you because your outfit was bad.
These two queens had plenty to say to and about each other during the season. When they finally got to hash it out at the reunion, it turned into another fight and an impromptu group therapy session.
A lot of people ask me if I regret anything I say or have done, and I don't. I firmly believe in speaking up for how you feel.
Dia Betty's blunt opinions clearly grated on Jasmine Kennedy throughout their time on the show. She accused Dia of being too personal with her insults and never taking accountability for her comments.
You dragged me for 9 weeks straight. Instead of coming towards my drag, you came towards who I was as a person. You called me an energy vampire.
You are.
Dia detailed all the ways she had tried to make up for her insults. Though they eventually came to an understanding, their differing perspectives provided Season 14's reunion with its most dramatic moments.
You can play back any clip, and it's always me saying, it is my opinion, and it is not.
No offense, then your opinion, yeah.
Number 27, Kahana Montrese and Candy Muse versus Heidi and Closet.
With Heidi, girl, I'm already under the bus. I don't need you to roll it and drive on top of me. Like, that's not what sisters do. That's not what family does.
And I also heard that she went and told Jimbo that I was coming for her.
Backstage backstabbing and social strategy plays a big part in the All-Star seasons of Drag Race. But in Season 8, it was the off-screen scheming that ended up affecting the game. A dust-up about Heidi and Closet making jokes at Kahana Montrese's expense during Snatch Game was just petty workroom drama before Candy Muse stepped in.
What really sent me was you.
Me?
Yes, because you really were pushing me. Seeing that I was struggling.
Apparently, Heidi had spilled about Candy's plans to vote frontrunner Jimbo out of the competition. But after some backtracking from Alexis Michelle, it became clear someone was lying.
Alexis starts to agree with what I'm saying, but as soon as Candy pipes up, she's like, oh, well, I don't know if that's exactly what she had said.
Heidi was soon taking heat from all directions, rather than play a dirty game. Heidi chose to leave the competition.
So have fun or I'm leaving now. Honestly, no, we don't have to vote tonight. I love y'all.
Number 26, Willam versus Milan.
But we worked as a team.
I would have loved to hear more ideas from Kenya instead of Milan.
Few queens could ruffle feathers like this season 4 problem child. And even fewer queens could care less about how they were being perceived. Every time she was safe and untucked, just trying to have a good rapport with her shoes, there was sure to be someone catching a stray from Willam.
I'm gonna talk.
Please do.
Cool.
Even though it doesn't mean anything.
You know what? I won't. I'm just gonna have a good rapport with my shoes. They're Yves Saint Laurent.
This time, it was Milan. The two got into a brief spat.
No one else was really stepping up to the plate to say, oh, I'll do this. You know, I asked everyone else.
Both.
Despite being totally unbothered, Willam still came in hot with the quips. When Willam told Milan to stop raising her voice and come down to her level, Milan humorously responded by getting on the floor.
I don't know
why you raising your voice.
Why
I'm
are you
just
raising
asking
your
you
voice?
a question. Did you not do that?
If you want to talk to me at my level, you
okay,
can.
let me talk to your level. Did you not do that? Because you're so beneath me at this moment.
We love a physical comedy queen. Number 25, Derek Barry versus Naomi Smalls.
When they said that Derek was in the top, I was like, okay, I did not see that.
That's where her jealousy kicked in.
Everybody loves puppets, especially when it comes to this mini challenge, the shadiest puppet show in all the land. It's hilarious for us at home, but the contestants sometimes get in their feelings about what their fellow queens think of them. Naomi Smalls and Derek Barry's impressions of each other led to a hilarious but savage exchange in the workroom afterward.
Oh, you're doing a split, girl. That's the most talented thing I think I've seen you do on this competition.
It's almost more unsettling how calm they were as they traded some fairly devastating and mean-spirited insults. Everything was on the table, including IQ points and hairlines.
I have one thing to say. I'm not that smart.
Whoa. Were you upset by my puppet?
I honestly don't remember what you said.
Everything was factual.
At this moment, we were all kimchi.
And Derek has thin hair.
Wow. I also have a career with my wigs on. You'll have a career once you start gluing yours down.
Baby.
Popcorn. Number 24, Matty Morphosis versus Jasmine Kennedy.
I am not going home tonight.
Anything else?
So basically what you're saying is you about to slay her.
Matty may have been an underdog in the competition, but sometimes she acted like top dog. Case in point, she gave one of the series' best backhanded compliments. This fight was already threatening to erupt before Matty Morphosis wished Jasmine Kennedy the second best lip sync of the night, as they were sure to be in the bottom together.
I hope you give the second best lip sync of the night. Because like, I'm gonna do what I do. I'm gonna do what I...
Good luck.
I'm gonna do like what I have already done to send somebody else home.
Well, Jasmine was not the one. Not only was she not bothered, but she was actually encouraging Matty to get her last licks in before Jasmine sent her home.
Have your moment. Keep talking. You're talking a lot more than me, you know, because I'm usually the one
that's a
talking the
change.
whole time. Yes, it is. This is your moment. Have it. Go ahead. The stage is here.
Ironically, it still kind of seemed like Jasmine's moment. Number 23, Roxy Andrews versus Jinx Monsoon.
If I was on that judges panel, Jinx would have been gone. Jinx does not deserve to be here.
No offense, Jinx.
But I know what they were saying about looking 70.
The kooky Seattle queen was underestimated from the start. But as her doubters left the competition, Jinx Monsoon emerged as a frontrunner. Her fellow finalist, Roxy Andrews, could not handle it. Taking the brave stance that drag shouldn't be fun, Roxy needled her fellow finalists as they entered the last challenge.
Comedy's not poking fun at drag. Like comedy...
It's not funny to me. And the fact that drag continues to get insulted in this competition is not funny to me.
Alaska saw right through her pageant girl mind games. But Jinx finally got tired of treating her competitors' jabs like water off a duck's back.
So what has been your favorite moment throughout this competition?
Seeing you in the bottom two.
I just don't get what's so rewarding about being hurtful like that.
She rose up and matched Roxy's energy. Given that Jinx won the whole season, it's clear that Roxy's strategy backfired. If anything, it just proved how much Jinx had grown in the competition.
For you to just discredit all my work, it just shows how immature and bitter you are.
I can't hear you, I'm blow drying my hair.
Number 22, Fifi OHA versus Willam.
I mean, they want people here with talent, not people that are sitting there trying to live through their shoe names and their clothes names.
Talent?
Throughout season 4, Willam and Fifi had their fair share of memorable incidents, but none of them tops the iconic scene in episode 8 when Fifi absolutely went off on Willam and laid all of her thoughts on the table.
You don't have any talent. This is a show for talented people, not people that know how to buy shoes. You should not be here.
Fifi held nothing back and explicitly called Willam a fake talentless rule breaker, all while Willam sat there calmly, waiting for the right moment to drop her iconic line.
Your tone seems very pointed right now.
Willam's energy during the whole ordeal is impeccable, and watching Fifi have a nearly one-sided conversation with herself remains entertaining to this day.
How's that?
Number 21, Pheromone versus Valentina.
I've been kind to every single one of you, and I'll continue to be kind towards success.
Can I say something?
Sure, go ahead.
Everyone else is.
This wasn't the most overt fight on the show, but the tension between these two was intense during the reunion episode. As soon as Pheromone interjected and asked, "Can I say something?" the audience waited with bated breath because we all knew a storm was coming.
We were such close friends, and you literally have not spoken to me in almost 5 months.
Pheromone was clearly upset about Valentina's lack of follow-through with their friendship after the competition ended, and she was taking none of Valentina's excuses.
I respect you and love you.
You don't love me.
To be fair, it seemed like Valentina was rubbing everyone the wrong way that day, especially when she won Miss Congeniality.
Fan favorite? Yeah, great. Like, you have a lot of fans, your fans love you. But is it fan favorite or is it congeniality?
If it's fan favorite, then I guess she deserves it.
Number 20, Derek Barry versus India Farah.
Hi. Hey, girl.
There's only one queen I don't get along with, and it's India Farah.
She had got me, girl.
Derek Barry may have only been on one episode of All Stars 5, but her time on the season was marked by a major feud between her and India Farah.
India Farah, this shade is all real.
Things got messy once the two began arguing about a gig at Piranha nightclub that India was apparently kicked off of in favor of Derek's partner and fellow drag queen Nebraska.
India got fired from Piranha.
I quit Piranha.
If you quit, why do you need to say this establishment will hire anybody now?
Derek defended herself and accused India of calling Nebraska, quote, a pig in a wig.
Why would I be happy for someone that does a number that disrespects me and puts my name in
That
it? Why
was
would I want to be happy for
after
her?
you called her a pig in a wig.
It was not to her.
Clearly, neither party was willing to spare feelings as the two Las Vegas queens went at it.
You're two-faced, and I don't with two-faced people.
Number 19, Alyssa Edwards versus Fifi OHA. Fifi OHA came back to the workroom for All Stars 2 to prove that she was no longer a villain.
Riddle me this, riddle me that. Watch out, girls, this bitch is back.
Unfortunately, she didn't exactly get the redemption arc she'd been hoping for.
And can I be completely honest? I am sick of hearing them say, you can wear shit on stage, but it's okay because you're Alyssa.
As the season went on, Fifi became frustrated by what she perceived as favoritism from the judges towards Alyssa for her Alyssa-isms. This came to a head after Alyssa's first elimination.
All right, you can play the victim, go ahead.
Being a victim of what, girl? I just sat right there and heard everything you had to say. And you didn't say none of that to me. I was just in the room with you. We grown folk, but okay.
Thinking she was out of earshot, Fifi voiced her feelings back in the workroom, only to get caught out by the sickening mirror reveal.
But if you gonna be loud and rowdy and think you're a bowdy bitch, stand up and be one. Look, girl, don't be weak sauce.
After a tense exchange, the pair superficially made up. But this awkward moment after Alyssa eliminated Fifi showed that Fifi still held a grudge.
It's okay. Bye. Oh, love you. Mwah.
Oh my God.
Number 18, the Vixen versus Aquaria.
Doesn't matter how much I like you, if you set yourself up, I'ma hit you.
The Vixen took issue with Aquaria's comments about her in the workroom and brought up her feelings about the issue during an episode of Untucked. Aquaria defended herself and her choices, choosing to turn the argument around on the Vixen by pointing out her negative attitude.
When you come for me and I come for you back and you say, oh, you're so negative, I was chilling.
This, of course, only made things worse, and things continued to escalate until Aquaria, overcome with emotion, began to cry.
That's something I
This This merely set the Vixen off even more as she felt that Aquaria's narrative unfairly boxed her into the, quote, angry black woman stereotype.
You say something, I say something, you start crying. You have created a narrative of I am an angry black woman who is scared off the little white girl.
I understand that narrative.
Doesn't matter how you do it.
Number 17, Bob the Drag Queen versus Derek Barry.
Yeah, I didn't hear you get that. But
I did get told that my performance was phenomenal, which you didn't get told.
What queen on Drag Race hasn't thrown at least a bit of shade at their fellow contestants? At this point, we all know that nearly every one of the contestants on the show has had their fair share of snarky moments.
Well, I don't know if there was a point. It's just Bob talking is your point all the time.
But you'll do like side shitty comments and it's funny, but when I do side shitty comments, it's like over. Anyone else see this? Am I on Lonely Island? Am I on Staten Island?
So when Derek claimed that she had never shaded the other girls on her season, Bob understandably called her out for her blatant lie.
I don't see that I do that.
I can't wait till you do it again. It'll be like 5 minutes.
Derek proved Bob's point almost immediately by throwing a pointed comment about Bob's unique drag style, which prompted Bob to snap back with a zinger.
Hey, Bob, if I want to do ratchet drag next week, can you give me any tips?
If you want to do like memorable drag next week, I can give you some tips.
Number 16, Aiden Zane and Heidi in Closet versus everyone.
The girls are just being so petty, messy, and just, girl, I need my personal space. The constant verbal assault on Aiden is starting to really piss me off.
Heidi left the rest of the group to focus all her energy on preparing for her lip sync, but she couldn't help but overhear the rest of the cast ganging up against Aiden for being safe.
Oh, you should be in the bottom. Oh, you should be in the bottom because of this. Oh, you should be in the bottom because of this. Focus on your damn self.
The other queens felt that Aiden didn't deserve to stay and called her out for her performance that week. Eventually, Heidi was fed up listening to the squabbling underway.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter, okay? The bitch is safe, leave her alone. I'm gonna worry about Heidi right now, okay?
Heidi had enough of the noise and went off on the other queens for the continued harassment, and she stood up for Aiden at a time when none of the other girls would. Number 15, Vanessa Vanjie Mateo versus Eevee Oddly. During Drag Race, tensions are bound to run high as each queen fights their hardest to stay another round. So when Eevee accused Vanjie of telling Ru to send her home, we knew things were about to get ugly.
What you rolling your eyes for?
Because, like, that's really cute to say, but you were also the bitch who was like, well, I guess the one girl who I want to go home is Eevee because she fought me.
These two queens are powerhouses in their own right, and when they started going off at each other, it was a sight to behold.
You got defensive, and that's the only reason I pushed any buttons here in the first place.
Because, bitch, you started crying to me, talking about, oh, I'm so proud of you, and yada, yada, yada.
Of course, Vanjie defended herself from Eevee's words, but things only seemed to get worse. The other queen's reactions during the fight really said it all.
I was trying to be cordial with you.
I don't need cordial, bitch. I need real. I need real, and now I'm getting real.
Be consistent, bitch.
Consistent.
No, you're not.
I am being consistent.
No, you're not, bitch.
I am.
1 minute.
I'm being so consistent, bitch.
Number 14, Silky Nutmeg Ganache versus Eevee Oddly.
I'm gonna be very forward about exactly how I feel.
Okay.
Silky, I'm a little pissy that you, like, tried to throw me under the bus because I'm quote-unquote injured.
Who wouldn't get a bit riled up if they heard a fellow competitor talking behind their back? Things between Silky and Eevee really popped off in episode 7 of season 11, as soon as Eevee overheard Silky unfairly telling RuPaul that Eevee should leave the competition because of her sprained ankle.
I think Eevee should go home just because she's hurt and we got time for that.
Talk about adding insult to injury. The tension between the two remained pretty palpable throughout the season.
I'm in this competition not for your satisfaction.
Girl, and apparently not for the judges either.
What?
They also fought on Untucked when Eevee unfavorably compared Silky to Drag Race winner Sasha Velour, making Silky feel like Eevee implied she wasn't talented.
You think safe is gonna get you somewhere?
Sasha Velour was safe every week.
And won.
That's because Sasha Velour was talented.
Number 13, Tatiana versus Tyra Sanchez.
And then I said, Tyra. And so I said, Tyra, can you please stop singing? And you're like, what are you talking about? Giving me that, I don't know what you're talking about, but I know exactly what you're talking about face. I'm not dumb.
Tatiana put it best when she bluntly told Tyra, I don't like you.
If I don't like you, I don't like you.
And I don't like you. Are you happy?
Everything started to go downhill for Tyra's relationship with the other contestants during the bridal challenge, as her loud singing in the workroom annoyed the other queens and escalated tensions. Tatiana called Tyra out on stage in front of Ru and the other judges.
I don't think that you're seeing that Tyra is a complete bitch.
But things really started to get interesting once everyone entered Untucked. Tatiana took none of Tyra's excuses and managed to stay relatively calm as she called Tyra out for pretending like she didn't know better.
There isn't anything else to say.
But why are you talking?
Why are you talking?
Anyways.
Thank you.
Number 12, Alyssa Edwards versus Jade Jolie. It seems that wherever Alyssa Edwards goes, drama follows.
Jade, really, before you read yourself first.
Oh, honey, you act as if that you're just perfect and polished out of everyone, girl. I feel like I hear your voice everywhere.
As well as her old beef with Coco, Alyssa had a whole fresh one with Jade Jolie in season 5.
Jade, jealousy's a killer in this industry.
Baby, I ain't jealous of that, honey. I ain't jealous.
Bring it to the runway.
Honey, and I am.
Put your mouth where your fashion is.
It began with razor-sharp reads in the workroom and finally erupted into a full fight in Untucked. Alyssa called Jade out for coming for her appearance, and Jade called Alyssa out for acting nice when she was really a, quote, mean girl.
Girl, if I was quick to judge you, I'd judge you on that makeup. But girl, I could judge you on your lack of talent. You're a phony amateur,
To you,
girl.
because you're a mean girl.
Amateur.
You're a mean girl.
Girl, you're a joke.
Alyssa then lived up to this label by shadily saying that she could read Jade for her, quote, lack of talent. Jade then went for the jugular, inadvertently blessing us with this iconic confessional cam reaction from Alyssa.
Girl, you had rolls all over the place in the back. It was disgusting.
Back rolls.
Number 11, Tatiana versus Raven. Tatiana and Raven threw a lot of shade in season 2, so it wasn't surprising when they clashed with each other so forcefully in the reunion episode.
Raven all of a sudden decides she wants to blossom verbally.
RuPaul stirred the pot by playing clips of Raven giving her opinions about the other queens, and she did not mince her words about Tatiana.
Tatiana is about face value. So you, Tatiana.
Tatiana was understandably fuming and let Raven have it.
You're jealous. You're insecure. No one that feels that great about themselves has to put others down the way that you do. I have had very negative feelings towards you since the end of that show.
She argued that while she talked trash about the other queens, she was never mean in the way that Raven was.
And I never said anything hurtful about you. I said that you run your mouth because you do.
Raven defended herself by explaining that she just gave her, quote, honest opinion when asked for it. Tatiana told Raven that though she was, quote, beautiful on the outside, her insides were, quote, dark and nasty. Ouch.
Your outside is gorgeous, Raven, but your insides are dark and nasty, and I don't like you.
Number 10, Everyone versus Serena Chacha.
We're all in the same caliber.
Except for Serena.
Guys.
Being 21 years old and acting like you are the best thing since pink glitter is not the way to endear yourself to a workroom full of seasoned queens. That is exactly what Serena Chacha found out on season 5.
Bitch, sit your ass down and shut the hell up, bitch.
No.
Woo! Oh my God.
Her run was short, but in her 2 episodes, she stirred up so much contention within the group that it all exploded in one of the most quotable Drag Race fights ever.
I've had it officially.
Serena's inexperience, arrogance, and overall bad attitude got even the most level-headed veteran queens to lose their cool.
I'm sorry, at this point, the ghetto lexic and language is gone.
Who you're calling ghetto? All of you guys.
It's good she went out when she did because, honestly, things might have gotten ugly if she showed up to another Untucked. Number 9, Everyone versus Mimi I'm First. Mimi I'm First had one of the most dramatic eliminations of all time when she competed on season 3, and her loud personality followed her into the first All-Stars.
I listen to you, and now you're gonna listen to me for one hot minute. This is my problem with it.
Act the fool, girl.
I'm here.
In the first episode of Untucked, Alexis Mateo brought up that she felt, quote, betrayed by Mimi taking over a club that she used to have a residency at, resulting in one of the most entertaining fights in Drag Race history.
I just don't think it's appropriate to talk about that had nothing to do with anything that's happened here.
Well, guess what, Mimi? We did.
Alexis told Mimi that she was, quote, acting a fool, and Raven questioned how Mimi had won the popular vote to return when she didn't have enough fans.
Mimi, I'm first, was number 3rd in the voting. I could not believe it. Out of all 50
Do not attack
bitches,
my fans, bitch.
of the that I've seen, you don't have that many.
Cue Yara's perfectly timed scathing insult.
Because they need someone to go home first.
And in the middle of it all, Tammy Brown was just, well, Tammy Brown.
Wait a minute, how do you not know what you're signing up for? You already did this, girl.
Oh, well, come on, Teletubby. Teleport us to Mars.
What the Is this bitch for real?
Number 8, Everyone versus Laganja Estranja. Laganja Estranja is remembered for 2 things: her gag-worthy entrance and just being way too much.
It's a little too much. It's a little too forced.
Laganja was accused of making up a fake, over-the-top personality for season 6, and one that irritated both the judges and the rest of the contestants. After the Drag Queens of Comedy challenge, Bianca Del Rio tried to fact-check the stories Laganja had told her about her past that simply didn't add up.
Because frankly, you've been only doing drag for 2 years. I believe that you've come into this competition with an act.
For Bianca, this reaffirmed the belief that she and everyone else had, including Laganja's BFF, Adore Delano, that Laganja acted differently on and off camera.
This right now, that's the bitch that I know. I don't know, yes, mama.
When I'm with my best friends, I say yes, mama.
That ain't how you talk when I hang out with you when the cameras aren't here.
The other queens wanted her to drop the act and insisted they weren't attacking her. Laganja begged to differ.
How am I supposed to feel in this moment?
Laganja, I didn't want to make it that everybody was attacking you. I feel very attacked.
Relax.
Number 7, Jiggly Caliente versus LaShawn Beyond. Sewing has been a contentious issue on Drag Race since the show started, with some queens being skilled seamstresses and others not seeing the point in crafting their own outfits.
I don't sew, but I make do with what I can.
Feeling burned after her post-apocalyptic couture didn't go down well on the runway, Jiggly Caliente argued that she was a non-sewer who did her best.
If you lacking one thing, somebody else ain't lacking, then shut the up.
LaShawn Beyond tried to shut down what she saw as excuses from Jiggly, which Jiggly denied she was making. Things escalated very quickly as their disagreement turned into a shouting match.
I'm not here to make best buddies, bitch. I'm not here to be your friend. Then shut the up, because you do a lot of talking. You've been everybody's BFF and No, I'm not here to be your friend, I'm here to with.
In the end, LaShawn made her intentions on the show crystal clear, with a line so endlessly quoted that it might as well be a Drag Race tagline by now.
This is not RuPaul's best friend, Greg.
No, Sherlock.
Number 6, Eureka versus the Vixen.
Y'all hear me?
I'm getting tired of hearing you talk, honestly. Can I go smoke?
During their season, both Eureka and the Vixen had their fair share of heated moments with the other contestants. But things came to a head when they went head-to-head with each other during a major Untucked confrontation.
You just want someone to fight with.
I don't need to fight with you. You are picking this fight right now.
Throughout season 10, it was pretty obvious that the Vixen and Eureka didn't jive together. But things took a nosedive when Eureka told the Vixen that she was too, quote, negative.
Can we please strike the word negative from the record? Because it does something to me that I just cannot.
Immediately, tensions skyrocketed, leading the Vixen to scream her now legendary line about Eureka's smoke break.
Go, and maybe. No, I'm not going.
It's done.
Even during the reunion, it was obvious that the two had not patched things up, as the Vixen stormed off the set after feeling unfairly confronted about her fight with Eureka. Number 5, Alyssa Edwards versus Coco Montrese. Most Drag Race rivalries are born on the show. Alyssa Edwards and Coco Montrese, however, brought a lot more baggage to season 5 than just a suitcase full of gowns.
Why did you write on your Facebook, Alyssa shouldn't have won in the first place? Do you feel like that was a hit below the belt?
The resentment was there from the moment the two queens locked eyes in the workroom.
And the Academy Award goes to you, Alyssa.
Coco explained that their relationship broke down after she filled in for Alyssa after Alyssa was crowned Miss Gay USA. The ex-friends then tried to hash it out, arguing over who had it worse, Alyssa for being dethroned, or Coco for having to embarrassingly complete another queen's reign.
Girl, look how orange you look, girl. You were used to being my runner-up and being behind me. Don't switch the game up now, mama.
After reaching an emotional climax, the fight was unresolved, And we knew it wouldn't be long until the tension boiled over again.
Now you pushed it.
Miss Coco, you're taking it personal. I'm joking.
Oh, now I'm not joking, bitch. You gonna call me a runner-up? You ain't never won nothing.
By default, mama. You took that picture by default.
Number 4, Mystique versus Morgan McMichaels. We said there'd be no physical fights on this list, but Mystique and Morgan McMichaels came pretty damn close to a physical fight in Season 2's Untucked.
I don't start drama, I end it.
You don't know what we're talking about.
After shots were fired in the Untucked lounge, Morgan told the other queens she wasn't going to put up with Mystique bad-mouthing her or anyone else.
If you're sick of it, quit paying attention.
Honey,
you're probably not sick of it because you want to listen to me.
You're so goddamn loud, nobody can get a word in.
Mystique confronted Morgan, saying she didn't know what she was talking about, to which Morgan answered that she was sick of hearing Mystique complaining loudly all day.
I have no issue with what you two are talking about.
Okay, but then...
She's in my mug, in my space. She has been all day.
How, bitch? I was never around your ass.
You're throwing dust in the room. You're so rude and disrespectful. You have no manners.
The insults became personal and the gap between them got smaller. And when Morgan didn't take Mystique's butt-whooping threats seriously, Mystique had just one thing to say to her. The lesson? Don't come for a Chicago queen.
I will whoop your ass. Bitch, I am from Chicago. I don't gotta hit your ass to probably get voted off, bitch.
Number 3, Candy Muse versus Tamisha Iman.
At the end of the day, I'm gonna speak for myself. Yeah. It's a couple of you girls I really don't care for, but I have to commend you on your drag. This is Drag Race.
It's not uncommon for the contestants to dish about how they thought the week's challenge went. Well, Tamisha Iman decided this was the time to tell her Season 13 castmate Candy Muse how she felt about her personality. However, this went over about as well as flats on the runway.
There's a difference between being confident in who you are and what you're putting out into the world. It's not my fault that I could walk up in here and light up the room and you can't. Period.
Neither one of them is the type of queen to let a shady comment go by, and it soon erupted into one of the show's most volatile arguments.
If you don't have star quality,
baby,
get the fuck out of here.
Girl, star quality? I've been around 30 years, little girl.
Fine.
For many fans, it was a return to form for the series, which has seen less conflict in its later seasons. It even got the show nominated for Best Fight at the MTV Movie and TV Awards.
It does not change what I said. I said what I said.
I never, ever heard any of you in this competition tell that to me, to my face.
Number 2, Sharon Needles versus Fifi OHA. These frenemies made no secret of their feelings towards one another throughout Season 4. They even performed a musical number about it. In the 3rd episode, team leader Fifi instructed Sharon to do her spooky shtick for the infomercial challenge, for which Sharon took home a win.
So congratulations, you're welcome, because I was the one that sat there and picked that out for you.
Feeling as though Fifi was pigeonholing her drag, Sharon confronted Fifi about it the next week, but was met with hostility when Fifi pointed out that she'd won regardless.
Sharon, you know what? You are not even on the same level as me, so get the out of my face.
Because
get the out of my face.
That's because
Go
you've
back
won
and do
nothing.
your only one look that you got.
Their quiet chat became a screaming match featuring this brilliant exchange.
Oh, I have one look? Tired ass showgirl.
Showgirl, at least I am a showgirl, bitch. Go back to Party City where you belong.
I'm the future of drag. You look 20 years ago.
Oh, girl, please.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Shangela versus Mimi I'm First. Get your popcorn ready for this one. In the Untucked lounge, the queens laid into Mimi I'm First's look for the Queens in Space runway.
Yours was thrown together. Those eyes just glued onto that costume. What is the tea?
And your fishnets
That's
are
not
ripped.
from Future. Your fishnets are ripped all over the place.
They were on the runway, girl.
Yes, they were.
Mimi clapped back that her futuristic drag had been the most, quote, creative, while most of the other queens looked too similar to stand out.
Out of the runway, who had the most creative idea on the entire night? Because there were 5,000 Judy Jetson hookers out there.
Oh, wait a minute.
Shangela came for Mimi especially hard, pointing out the flaws in her outfit and stating that she didn't think Mimi, a camp comedy queen, could ever be glamorous.
You'll never be glamour.
Boo, just because you got a sugar daddy who pays for everything for you.
Mimi then made the mistake of accusing Shangela of having a sugar daddy to pay for everything she had. This brought the fight to a tense standstill. We were on tenterhooks for Shangela's response, and it did not disappoint.
I've never had a sugar daddy. If I wanted a sugar daddy, yes, I probably could go out and get one because I am what? Sickening. You could never have a sugar daddy because you are not that kind of girl. Baby, everything I've had, I've worked for and I've gotten myself. I built myself from the ground up. No.
Which Drag Race fight do you still rewatch? Tell us in the comments.
Let me ask you a very fair question. What do you do successfully? Quickly.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.